Welcome back, everybody, to Alpha Cave. Today we are going to talk about semiconductor stocks. We are going to take a deep dive into this subject. We know it's going to be the wave of the future, and I think it's very important for us to know how to pick some of the best stocks in this sector. Now, we know 5G is the way the world is going to be connected. It is the way of the future, and we do want to know exactly what 5G is and what it's going to do for us. 5G is a mobile network. It has greater bandwidth, so it can handle more devices. As you handle more devices, then you can deal with a lot more things in this world, as everything is now connected to the internet. You have much better and faster connection to the internet, and it reduces the latency. So when it reduces the latency close to zero, now you allow objects like self-driving cars to work in real time, and therefore we have that ability. The 5G network relies heavily on semiconductors. Now, what are semiconductors? Well, they are a very important part of the electronic devices. You can call them microchips, you can call them integrated circuits, but they're made from elements like silicon and germanium. Adding impurities or doping of these semiconductors will change the conductivity of them. Basically, they make our electronics smaller and faster and better. For the reason that I believe that 5G and semiconductors are where we should invest to hopefully make good profits in the future, I looked at these 15 companies. Currently, I do not own any of these companies, but I am really looking into buying a few of these. And so I narrowed it down to the top 7 companies after looking at all of them. I did a good research on all of them, looked at the prices, looked at different categories, and if you saw my last video, which I explained about the process I go through, I use most of those criteria to judge these. I present the top 7, and of course, as always, we're not professionals in investing. Do seek professional advice if you decide to invest. So let's hit it. Now, you may have some disagreements with me on some of these, and I definitely did not look at all the semiconductor companies, but my number one is Marvell, MRVL. There's a couple of things I like about it. One is the price, $46.56 at the time I was looking at this. Of course, it's increased in the last 3 quarters as far as their earnings are concerned, but this is what I really like about this. Their annual sales are $2.7 billion, which is not a lot compared to other companies. But look at their net income, 1.58, almost 60%, about 58, 59% that they're making as net income. That's amazing, which usually means that they're doing very good as far as money is concerned. So you don't have to worry about that part. Their outstanding shares are a little high. They're 671 million, but that's lower than a lot of the other companies that are out there. So it is actually pretty good, not bad to look at that. Now, their price target is at $48.52, which is not too far off from where it is right now. I think it's going to be rather stable, but I think the price may increase dramatically, especially if on the 3rd their earnings are through the roof, which they might be. We might see that price go up from 46 all the way to 60 or beyond possibly. The dividend is okay at 24 cents. However, that's not the reason I will be investing into this company. I just think that it's going to be a growth company. It's going to go higher and higher, and I think we'll do well with it. Always like to see the institutions that hold these companies. In this case, it's FMR LLC and Price T. Rowe, which are the highest. And when I put a little plus behind FMR LLC and the 100 million, that means that they actually bought more shares. And of course, Price T. Rowe actually decreased their shares significantly. Now, the forecast as far as earning per share is actually 58 for 2021 and $1 for 2022. So they're expecting this company to continue to grow. And again, those are good reasons to try to invest into this company. And specifically, I like the price. Going on to number 2, Lam Research, LRCX. Couple of things here. There's quite a big range on the price from 505 all the way to 660, and the price is pretty much in the middle of that, 568.56 at this time. Now, it has increased in the last 4 quarters. Annual sales are good, 10.04 billion, and the net income from that is good, 2.25 billion. So that's really good. It's a good, strong company. I also like this specifically. The number of shares is only 142 million shares, almost 143 million shares. So that's actually pretty good. Their earnings report is coming out on April 28th. Now look at their dividend, $5.20 per year, paid quarterly. That's huge. Institutional holdings I really like. I've seen Vanguard and BlackRock on the top of a lot of lists, and they hold a lot of shares. They both actually sold some shares this time around, but they still have a significant amount of these shares. And the forecast for their earnings per share over the next few years, you can see that it actually goes from 24 all the way up to 30 in 2023. That's really amazing. Number 3, Applied Materials, AMAT. I have some good news, as you can see there, and the price isn't too bad, 118.20 cents at this time. They've increased in the last 4 quarters as far as their earnings. That's great. Again, their annual sales compared to their net income is actually very good, 17.2 billion and 3.62 billion net income. That's great. I think a drawback, however, is that they almost have like 1 billion shares. So that's a little bit of a drawback. However, it's not going to stop me from investing into this company at this time. Their price target is at a 125.74, and they have good companies that invest into them. As far as their institutional holdings, BlackRock and Vanguard are high. They do have a little bit of a dividend, and their forecast is expected to yearly keep on going up as far as their earnings per share. So that's Applied Materials. Seems to be a good company as well. On to number 4. This is Skyworks, very popular company, SWKS. I didn't see any major news on this. The price is not too bad, 183.75, and their earnings, of course, increased over the last 3 quarters. Again, their net income is good at 814.80 million as compared to their annual sales of 3.36 billion. Outstanding shares, not that many, 164, almost 165 million shares. That's actually very good. They have a price target that's actually lower than what their actual price is right now. However, they have a good dividend, $2 per year, paid quarterly. They do expect the company to keep on growing, as you can see by the forecast and the earnings per share. And institutional holdings, again, the ones I like, Vanguard and BlackRock are right there. Going on to number 5, a monster of a company, Broadcom, AVGO. They've had some good news there. They deal more with smartphones and industrial sectors, telecom areas. Their price is high, it's $471.90, but look at their annual sales, 23.89 billion with a net income of 2.96 billion. Their outstanding shares are only 406 million, which is not bad at all. Their price target is a little lower than what the current price is. But if you see the dividend now on this one, $14.40 per share is amazing. That is a great dividend to be getting every single year for your shares on Broadcom. Their earnings are coming up on the 4th of March. They have good investors there with Capital World and Vanguard, and their earnings per share is to go up over the next couple of years, 23.14 and 23.66 in 2022. So those are all nice signs for this company. It looks like this is a company I would want to buy just because of that dividend that they have. Number 5, ASML Holdings, ASML. And this company produces and sells some equipment for semiconductors. And as you can see, they have a good deal with the second largest chip maker that they've made. Now the price is high, it's $542. Their earnings have been good over the last 4 quarters, going up quite a bit. Annual sales look great, 13.24. Net income looks good, 2.9 billion. Outstanding shares is great, 419 million only. The price target is a little bit lower than what the price is right now, and their earnings is coming up in April 21st, 2021. The dividend is good, $3.207 per year, paid biannually, which is great. Good institutional holdings there by a couple of companies. I don't see Vanguard in the top two, however. And earnings per share expected to go actually way up by 2023, which is actually very good. And last but not least, of course, it had to be Texas. Texas Instruments, TXN. Actually, the news on this one is that one of the directors bought $1 million worth of shares recently. The current price is $170.53. And of course, they've been making money over the last 4 quarters, which is one of the criteria that I look at least the last 3 quarters, they have to be making money. Their annual sales are good, $14.38 billion, and look at that net income, $5.02 billion. That's great. The drawback, I think, is that they almost have like 1 billion shares at this time. The price target is a little lower than what the current price is, but they do have a great dividend at $4.08 per year, paid quarterly, and it has been increasing. They do have institutional holdings that are very good. Vanguard and BlackRock are amongst the top 2. And the earnings per share over the next few years actually is getting better every single year. So there you have it, folks, my top 7 semiconductor companies. Of course, there's other companies to consider as well. If you like any of these companies, I encourage you to do more research and comment below on any companies that you feel are better than this. Tell me what you think about the top 7 here. Tell me if any of the other of the complete 15 from the list you think should have made the top 7 as well. I looked through all of them. If you want any information on the other companies, I do have that information available. I just did not want to put everything into this video, but I thought these companies were very important to know about, and a very good possibility that I will invest into some of these companies as well in the near future. From Alpha Cave, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. And we're hoping that we will get our subscribers up a lot higher, because as we do, we have something planned for a giveaway, including some cryptocurrency. And I think that you guys will really like that. Thanks again. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.